Donald Trump's Deputy Attorney General, Todd Blanche, was just caught stealing millions of dollars. Yes, the Epstein crimes weren't enough. He had to double down and now do financial crimes as well, proving once again that under the Trump economy, the only people doing well are the people who work for Donald Trump. And why is that? It's because those grifters and criminals are stealing from me and you. And yes, they're stupid enough to get caught. That is what we are going to get into. But before we do, if I could quickly ask you to leave a like on this video, and if you haven't already and you enjoy our channel, to hit that subscribe button because it goes a long way in supporting our work. Now, before we get into what Blanche is stealing, how and why he just got caught, I want to start with another example of this rampant corruption taking place that kind of gives the important context for what Blanche just did. And it comes to us courtesy of Senator Chris Murphy, who is calling out Don Jr. in his corrupt dealings right here. This is a video I did just a few months ago about a little-known Florida drone company called Unusual Machines. Specifically, Donald Trump Jr. just went on the advisory board of a very small drone company called Unusual Machines based out of Florida. And as soon as he went on the board, guess what happened? The stock price of this company doubled like overnight. Because, you know, in this environment, in this White House, everybody knows when the fix is about to be in. And guess what? This little Florida company just announced they're getting a huge contract from the Department of Defense. So Donald Trump Jr. goes on this board. He has a $4 million investment. And then months later, they get this enormous contract from the federal government. It's for drone motors. Apparently, they just started making drone motors like 5 minutes ago. The corruption is just so bold and brazen. It used to be that people who were on the take would try to hide it. The Trump family doesn't even try to hide it any longer. They're just literally robbing from you. And it's your money. And this is taxpayer dollars. Last week, Donald Trump says that he's going to make the Department of Justice pay him hundreds of millions of dollars for grievances that he made up about how he was treated by the Department of Justice before he became president. Now, Donald Trump Jr. is just awarding himself. We don't even know how much money yet. Probably millions, if not hundreds of millions of dollars for a company that he just went on the board of. This is outrageous. And whether you're a Republican or a Democrat, you should be outraged by this because once you were able, as President of the United States, to just steal from taxpayers like every day, that's a genie that you don't get to put back in the bottle. Corruption and the grift. That is all the Donald Trump presidency is about. It is about going after his political enemies, keeping him out of jail for corruption and crimes and a little bit of grift. There was a little bit of grift mixed in there, but that's all that it's about. Donald Trump wants everyone around him to get rich off of stealing from us and abusing their power. That is what his presidency is about. And nowhere has that been clearer than in crypto. Why? One, because it's essentially made for criminals to use. Cartels, gangs, terrorist organizations use it more than anybody else does. And two, because it's not real, so it's easy to manipulate and works really well for stupid people like Trump, who Senator Chris Murphy also called out once again for his crypto coin scam, which is important for how Blanche is stealing our money. You've described this crypto venture as the most corrupt thing any president has ever done in the history of the United States. And I think you make a pretty compelling case about that. If the Congress and the U.S. Senate were doing its job, what would be the appropriate response to that? Well, the first question is, why isn't the Department of Justice doing its job? I mean, this is corrupt on its face, but it is likely illegal. You probably don't have to scratch very deep to find an instance where the president has received an enormous infusion of cash to his crypto coin from a CEO or foreign oligarch who is then asking for a favor from Donald Trump. I mean, this is unethical, corrupt, but likely illegal if any prosecutor worth their salt was trying to even scratch the surface. But to the extent it's not already apparent that a president of the United States should not be running a backdoor bribery scheme, the equivalent of posting your Cash App on the White House webpage, then we should make it crystal clear that that's illegal. So Chris Murphy is absolutely right. This is one of the biggest scandals, if not the biggest, which is kind of hard considering Donald Trump creates a new reason for his latest scam to be the worst scam and his worst scandal to be the latest scandal. It's all scandals and scams. But Chris Murphy is absolutely right. This is atrocious. This is a level of crime and theft we have never seen before. And it is such pay to play. And they're getting paid a lot. And so is Todd Blanche, who has leveraged his position. leveraged the insider information he has, and leveraged this commitment to crypto criminality that Donald Trump has been such a big proponent of, even before he was president and making himself a lot of coin. Trump legal goon, accused of breaking law over massive crypto holding. One of Donald Trump's top Justice Department officials ordered prosecutors to back off cryptocurrency cases while he had held a 6F-figure stake in such investments. According to a new investigation, the memo was issued by Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche, a one-time personal lawyer to Trump. According to ProPublica, Blanche entered government with cryptocurrency holdings between $159,000 and $485,000 and agreed to divest within 90 days of his March Senate confirmation to avoid conflicts of interest. Blanche's April 7th directive titled Ending Regulation by Prosecution ordered an end to Biden-era investigations into crypto companies, dealers, and exchanges, while also disbanding the DOJ's National Cryptocurrency Enforcement Team. ProPublica noted that the memo was sent while Blanche still held Bitcoin valued at between $100,000 and $250,000, along with positions in Solana and Ethereum and stock in Coinbase. The outlet reported that the market reacted favorably to the directive, with crypto trading spiking. Legal experts told ProPublica that Blanche should have recused himself or secured a waiver because his actions could have had a direct and predictable effect on his financial interest, while he still held Bitcoin and other crypto products. Ethics specialists told the site the sequence could run afoul of both Blanche's signed ethics terms and federal conflict of interest restrictions, which can carry criminal penalties in willing cases. Virginia Canner, an ethics lawyer, called the situation an obvious conflict of interest, according to ProPublica. So Blanche is profiting massively off of his ability to quite literally change crypto markets, right? He sent them soaring by saying that we are going to get rid of this regulation. And you might say, okay, well, Jack, sure, Todd Blanche made some money because he made a decision that sent crypto soar. What does this have to do with us? How is he stealing from us? Well, let's look at what Todd Blanche did. He made an incredibly predatory market in which people have lost fortunes, all of their money, their savings, whatever it may be. Billions of dollars are being snatched up. He took that predatory market and made it easier for big players with big-time lawyers and ability to game the system to rip you off, because that is what crypto does. It rips you off. So he said to all those guys who gave Donald Trump tens of millions of dollars, all those crypto dudes who wanted to see their prices soar, who wanted to make tons of money off of the biggest scam and quite literal environmental terrorism in the form of crypto. He said, have at it, have fun, rip more people off. We're not going to investigate you. We are not going to regulate you. And if you are already engaged in this criminal activity and we are looking into it, we're done. He is allowing you to get ripped off. Why? Because he wants to make more money. And these are the exact people who spent boatloads getting Donald Trump elected. And by the way, crypto also spent a lot of money on Democrats. One to look out for in particular, if you are watching in this video in Minnesota, I could not be more excited to tell you this. But also, if you're watching elsewhere, this is important. Angie Craig, she is running for Senate right now. She is in Congress at this moment. She is a Democrat. She is bought out by crypto. She introduced Eric Trump at a crypto conference, and they are trying to get her elected to the U.S. Senate, the crypto oligarchs. Why? Because they want her to do exactly what Todd Blanche is doing, allow you to get ripped off, allow this industry that is useless and hurtful to destroy our planet, to destroy our economy, and destroy people's lives. Peggy Flanagan, the Lieutenant Governor of Minnesota, is who you should be supporting in that race. We do not want Democrats who are bought and paid for by oil, who are bought and paid for by Israel, and who are bought and paid for by the crypto oligarchy. We are not having it. And that is why what Chris Murphy has done in calling these people out has been so important. For the UAE, the price is somewhere north of $2 billion. Last week, Eric Trump and World Liberty Financial co-founder Zach Witkoff spoke at a conference in Dubai on crypto called Token 2049. As an aside here, it's just so fantastic and bone-chilling how transparent these guys are in their use of public positions to enrich themselves. I'm going to tell the story of Trump's stablecoin and the corruption with the Emiratis. But let's just pause for a second and consider the fact that the Trump family could have partnered with anybody in the world on their new crypto venture, World Liberty Financial. But of all the people in the world to partner with on this new crypto venture, they chose the son of Trump's Middle East envoy. Trump's Middle East envoy, the guy who's making all the decisions on U.S. policy in the Middle East, just to make it crystal clear to the Gulf countries that when they deal with World Liberty Financial, Trump's crypto venture, that they are dealing directly with the people responsible for making U.S. policy in the Middle East. It's just stunning. Literally the sons of the president and the sons of the Middle East envoy running a crypto venture and then going directly into the Middle East in order to find their first investment. And guess what? Miracle. They found it. MGX, an investment firm backed by the Emirati government at this conference, announced that they had looked at all the crypto companies in the world that they could partner with to invest $2 billion in the crypto exchange Binance. And they selected, wait for it, drumroll, the company run by the sons of the President of the United States and the U.S. Middle East envoy, $2 billion. Now, World Liberty's role in this transaction is not that complicated. It's kind of similar to a bank. MGX, this SAP, this Emirati firm, deposits $2 billion with the firm and in return receives the stablecoin to be used on these crypto exchanges. The firm holds on to these dollars, invests them, and keeps the profits for themselves. So the Trump-Widoff company just gets basically a gift of capital. And if they just use that $2 billion to invest in treasury bonds, it would profit around $85 million a year from these investments alone, and the money goes directly to Trump. This is rampant corruption. It needs to be called out, and it is going to. I can promise you that much on this show every single day. If you want to support that, as always, you can hit that subscribe button, leave a like on this video. If you stuck around to the end, drop a blue heart in the comments. If you are in Minnesota, let me know. And let me know that you are going to support Peggy Flanagan. Back Peggy Flanagan. Do not get behind Angie Craig, who is funded by AIPAC, who is funded by crypto. We don't want any of that. We want real progressive Democrats. Peggy Flanagan, by the way, backed by Bernie Sanders. If I needed to sell you any more, that's what we got to do. We're going to keep on fighting. We're not going to let them silence us, and until next time, I'll see you soon.